Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about how you can make time for your yoga practice at home. But first, if you're new here, let me introduce myself. I am Hickman. I'm a yoga teacher and movement educator with over 20 years experience in the health and fitness industry. If you're interested in living your life to its fullest potential, then subscribe. Alright, on with the video. So I got asked this question recently by a newsletter subscriber, is that she was struggling to find time for her yoga practice. So let's look at 10 ways that you can find time for your yoga. So firstly, figure out what you're currently spending all of your time on. Now I know that most of us are in quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want to call it right now, but what are you spending your time on? Be honest with yourself. You can very easily find yourself binge watching Netflix series or Amazon Prime. What I like to do is, if I'm not sure where my time is going, I will set an alarm on my phone for every hour, and I'll put on my Google Calendar what I did for the previous hour. Be honest with yourself. Where is your time going right now? If you're not sure, do the Google tip. Once you've figured out where your time is going, what can you cut to make time for your yoga? Do you really need to spend the whole weekend binge watching Carnival Row on Amazon Prime? True story. Once you've found a slot where you can do some yoga, schedule it in your calendar. Just like you would make an appointment for the doctor, your appointment for yoga is just as important. It is your time for self-care. Schedule it, make it happen. My other tip here is to set an alarm. So if you're not sure whether you'll get sidetracked doing other things, whether it be working at home, cleaning, whatever it is, set an alarm in your phone. I will get distracted doing other things. If you're like me and a little bit ADD, then set an alarm in your phone. The fourth tip here is that we want to create consistency. So just think about doing this for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's all it's going to take to create the habit of getting on your mat and just doing some yoga. Maybe you get on your mat and you just do warrior 2, do it on the right side, do it on the left side, maybe you do a forward fold, perhaps you're just doing half sun salutations. All we're after here is that you're creating consistency and creating the habit. 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you can choose. Do you want to continue or do you want to go and watch Netflix? Tip number 5 would be to find your why. What is the reason that you want to do yoga? Is it that you want to get more flexible? Do you want to get stronger? Do you just want to move? What's your reason for doing yoga? Once you find that, you might be more motivated to do it more often. Tip number 6 would be to leave your props out. If you can, find somewhere that you can leave your mat or your blocks or whatever it is out in plain sight so that you can just hop on and then hop off. If that's not possible, you don't need a mat. You can just do it on carpet or a rug. Don't let lack of equipment or availability to the equipment be something that prevents you from doing yoga. Tip number 7 would be to do the same thing every day. Now it's not optimal to do the same sequence or poses every day. However, if you're just starting a yoga practice, do the same thing every day. If you're just trying to get into the consistent habit and you just want to take the brain away from this, do the same thing every day. No big deal. What you're after is the consistent habit of getting on your mat or into your yoga practice daily. Or you could watch a video, or you could sign up on Patreon. I do videos there too. Tip number 8 is to multitask. Don't think that the only time that you can do yoga is when you're on a yoga mat. No, you can do yoga when you're brushing your teeth. Maybe you just take a tree pose, brush your teeth on one side, switch legs, brush the teeth on the other side. If you're waiting for the kettle to boil, when you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in the morning, do some half sun salutations. Something is better than nothing. Tip number 9 would be to have a checklist or a calendar that you can kind of cross off. If you're type A like I am, crossing off checklists is just like my heaven. It also helps us keep motivated because then we can see each day that we've crossed off. It can also show us maybe a pattern to the days that we're not doing yoga, which is always interesting. And my final tip would be to implement the 2-day rule. So I heard about this from Matt D'Avella, which I will link down below. And it's basically that you never take more than 1 day off. You can take 1 day off from your practice, but you can't take more than 1 day. The 2-day rule. So I'm currently implementing this in my own practice. I'm doing a little kind of yoga challenge for myself for all of my nemesis poses. Link. What I'm doing is 2 days on and 1 day off. So I'm not allowed to have more than 1 day off. And that's mostly just to rest my wrists and my hands. Try it. In my experience, it works. Okay, so I hope that helps. I hope that gives you those 10 tips in how you can incorporate yoga if time is your issue. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up for some instant karma and the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And remember, my loves, that karma is only a bitch if you are. So be nice, be kind, and be the change that you want to see in the world. Bye! You can very easily find yourself binge watching Netflix or Amazon, blah, 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 blah. Once you've, stop. Now I heard about this from Matt D'Avella. I will link the video. That's the wrong side. I am currently doing 2 days off. No. It's not the 2-day rule, that's the opposite of the 2-day rule. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and